You have all these problems with money, all these issues with money, and yet you come in a Gucci jacket. Really? Really?
Video chatting with a male acquaintance, naked and masturbating. The complainant woke up to the defendant again, naked and masturbating to the same male, and asked the defendant if she wanted to have sex.
You have all these problems with money, all these issues with money, and yet you come in a Gucci jacket. Really? Really? What kind of foolishness is this, Mr. Segumbada? This is, I choose to spend my money where I want to spend it, and I'm not going to spend it on an interlock. That's what that foolishness is.
I had that. This is how it's done.
Everything you tell me goes in one ear, goes out the other ear. Perception is reality, Segumbada. Okay? Anything less? No, it's disingenuous. And basically just, that's all it is. Disingenuity. So the deal is this, is that you have a very great program where you have the opportunity to get this thing dismissed, and you continue to play games. Is your device in lockout now?
My device.
It's a yes or it's a no.
It's been locked out since last week because it cut down my battery.
No, it's lockout because of one reason, and that's because of money. That's the only reason that what we know of it's in lockout. We called, we checked before you even got here. So we know you're $800 in arrears, and that's why you're in lockout. The only way for you to do it is to get back into good graces with them with either a payment plan or you pay it in full. So this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to play this game anymore.
I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't locked out because of payments. I had a payment plan with them for $120 every month.
Probation fees are.
Yeah, it was just my probation fee.
The device.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them with payments.
So is he in lockout now or is he not in
He's in
lockout?
lockout
Service.
with the device.
Yeah, I did my service every month.
They're not going to lock out the device because of probation fees.
No. Yeah.
It looks like he was blowing low on the device.
Oh,
No, I was
going with the device now.
No, the device was messing up with my battery. So it always messed up my battery. So once my battery cut off, it locked me out. So I have to call them. So this is one thing I've been dealing with it. So I always make sure.
Give you until next week to get the device back in operational status. And if you fail to get it done, you are out of the program. Do you understand? You were lucky that Bioji is nice enough to stay on the case and not withdraw as it is with the games that you're playing with him and now with me. He may take it, but I'm not going to. If you continue to fail to have it, I'm just going to revoke your bond, put you in jail, and give you a 10-day trial set. That's what's going to happen with your Gucci self. Do you understand?
I understand, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So today's the 1st. He has until the 8th to get the device in.
Just to be clear, is it that if he pays the back fees that he can be released from the program? Is that what's keeping him?
No. So what happens is if he gets the device back in from lockout, they want to extend it for 3 months to ensure that he is good because he's been in lockout for all that time.
Okay, so he needs to have a good 3 months of no issues.
If you get it operational within the week, we will extend you for 3 months, but I'm going to put you on notice now. If it ever goes into lockout again, you are out of the program immediately, and I don't care what your excuse is.
I need to understand that this device is messing on my battery.
I'm giving you a week.
They always lock me out. So I always call them or send them email. I'll make sure I always do my service calibration.
Where did you go get the device?
Somewhere in Georgia.
And you need to go back to where you got the device to have it either fixed or exchange it for a different one. Or you get a different car to put it on. Because something is happening that is creating it to go in lockout. If it's not the money, then it's something else. To me, I don't care about excuses.
Probably just get a different car. I'll move it from
Whatever you need to do.
Is it possible to go from car to, if it's the issue with it running out the battery, on person?
No,
Okay,
because they want to make sure that it's in a car so that if he's driving, he doesn't have alcohol on board. The spirit of the program is that you're not consuming alcohol while you're driving. That's it. I will give you a week.
Get a different car, sir.
You need to do whatever you need to do. If you fail to get it done in a week, you must be back here on the 8th, and then we will set your case for trial. If you get it done, then we will extend you for 3 months, but you are on notice now that if it ever goes into lockout again, you will immediately be set for trial, and I don't care what your excuse is.
I'll get a different car. I
Understand.
promise. I promise, sir.
So don't wait until Thursday to go try to make everything work. Monday morning, I would immediately go to where you got it to do whatever you need to do to get it fixed. Do you understand?
I'm gonna get a different car and put it
Whatever you do doesn't matter to me, Mr. Mata. It doesn't matter. Just do what you need to do to get it working. And then what we'll do is we will roll this case to Friday, come back. We need proof that he's actually got it done and that it's operational. We're not going to take your word for it. You have to give us proof that it's done. Then we get a 3-month extension and we go from there.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for being so humble and allowing and staying on the case for him.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
He's my brother, same country.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you Jessica Johnson? Ms. Johnson, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. That kicks it up to a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On October 25th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a terroristic threat. The officer made contact with the complainant. The complainant stated he argued with the defendant, his girlfriend, over the defendant video chatting with a male acquaintance, naked and masturbating. The complainant woke up to the defendant again, naked and masturbating to the same male, and asked the defendant if she wanted to have sex. The defendant said no and began to argue with the complainant for asking too much. The defendant stated she would hurt herself, punch the complainant, then call the officer if he were to call the officer first. The complainant drove the defendant to a gas station, dropped her off, and later received a message on social media from the defendant with a picture of the license plate, a picture of the complainant, and a message that the complainant better lock his door and my homie lives nearby, he gonna pick me up. The officer made contact with the defendant. The defendant stated she did not make any threats and the complainant made domestic threats against her. The defendant consented to search of her phone, and the officer located the messages to the complainant stating to lock his doors and images of the complainant's face and license plate.
What is the threat? Sends a picture of a license plate.
And of his face saying he better lock his door, and then the message that her homie lives nearby. And then she had previously stated that she would punch the complainant.
Which is the, I mean,
I'll see how it was planned, Your Honor.
says here that on or about October 25th, threatened to commit an offense involving violence, namely an assault upon a person with the intent to place complainant in imminent serious bodily injury. It has to be on October 25th. Look at October 25th, what happened on that day.
Yes, Your Honor. On that day, all that we have is that prior to being dropped off the gas station, she told the complainant that she would punch him. And then he dropped her off at the gas station, and then she sent him the pictures of himself, his license plate, and said he better lock his door.
And your doesn't
That's,
work like that. You can't
Yes,
just piggyback. There's no
Yes, Judge.
bootstrapping. It's,
I believe
I would
it,
argue that the punching, telling him that she's going to punch him in the face would have been the terrorist.
when was that?
it was the same day on October 25th.
Yes. So they got into an argument at the house, and then he was driving her to the gas station. And I think during the drive, she said that she was going to punch him in the face.
And then that's when he dropped her off, and then he later got the messages. But there was that initial threat of being punched.
Right.
It says that in the OR that,
In the DMs that the complainant stated that she would, or the defendant stated she would punch him. Yes, that's what stated in the DMs. That's the threat of violence in the DMs that we have.
Ms. Johnson, I'm gonna find probable cause for now. Do you have a lawyer? Okay, what do you do with yourself these days? Are you working?
I'm from Ohio. I was just here visiting a friend and he wanted more.
Let's do this. I'm gonna pull it over today so that you guys can talk and figure out what the dynamic is, because maybe there's more to it that I'm not seeing. For now, I'm gonna order you not to have contact with this person and not to be in possession of weapons. I'm gonna get you a lawyer. You guys talk about this, and then we'll see where it goes. Okay. So for now, I'm gonna have you sign a wreath of Victoria. I'll just have you take a seat momentarily in the jury box. I'll have you speak to someone here momentarily, and then we'll go forward. Okay? Please, ma'am. No.
So the defendant and complainant's eldest daughter is 17 years old. She drives, she has a driver's license. The complainant trusts her to act as an intermediary.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That
she,
helps.
she also did give me the name of a friend who, her name is Chrissy Guerrero. She trusts her as well. And so if the.
As long as, I mean, so we have this, your oldest, I guess, is a 17-year-old. She drives. So we can use her as the intermediary to be able to help you get access to all the kids, you know? I think that'll work great. So I'm not preventing you access from any of your kids. I just don't want you to have contact with her. So if your 17-year-old has a cell phone, which I'm sure she does, right? Call her. Right. And you can use her to be able to, you know, see and speak to everybody else. Just don't, under any reason, have any contact with her whatsoever.
And she did say that if he ever needs to go to the home or anything, she'll leave the house so that he
That's
can
right.
temporarily go in. So she's being very cooperative and
That
understanding.
was my question, yeah, because I'm never home.
But you can't do that. We've got
Yeah.
an order for protection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's either there or it's not.
Okay.
So I don't want to have so many blurred lines that they're, you know what I mean?
So
So
just to make it clear, he
now
can't have
I don't want
access
you to go back to this house for the time being. I don't want you to go back to this house. I don't want you to accidentally pop in and she's there and then everything goes
No, no,
haywire.
no, no, but it's just when she's not there, like,
No,
because she told my daughter this morning, like, I'm about to leave out of town. And she told my daughter, well, to her dad to come in. She said, work, get his clothes and get whatever I need. And
don't go back to this house.
how much stuff is there, Mars?
You have to use someone else to get it. Don't go back to this house. Don't. I don't want something to happen where she's accidentally there and you think that she's not there and you go and then boom. Don't. I'm trying to prevent anything worse from happening. That's it. All right?
I'll use my daughter. Thank you, sir.
All right. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire lawyers. So we'll have you sign all these bond conditions and after that you'll be free to go. But hold on a second because you're going to have to sign the order for protection. You don't need to file anything because we're going to have him monitor over there. So that way, okay?
Sounds good, Judge.
All right, bud. So we'll have you sign a reset and then we'll have you meet with Fleischer here momentarily. Okay?
Okay.
Counsel. Yes, sir. Got it. Okay. Are you Jose Jesus Santana?
Yes, sir.
You have the information.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So, Mr. Santana, you're charged with unlawful restraint. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On October 29th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas regarding a disturbance in an unknown weapon. Upon arrival, the officers met with the witness who stated the defendant and the complainant's child came to his door asking for help, stating that the defendant was fighting with the complainant and he had locked her in the bedroom. Upon the officer's arrival, The defendant released the complainant after at least 15 minutes of confinement, and the officers observed the complainant with bloodshot eyes, appearing to have been crying and was visibly upset. The complainant advised that she and the defendant got into a verbal argument, and when she attempted to leave, the defendant got in front of her, closed and blocked the door, and the complainant advised that the defendant ignored her repeated pleas that he release her. The defendant pushed the complainant back away from the door repeatedly, grabbed her, holding her in place, and then took her to the bathroom and pushed her up against the wall. The defendant then punched the mirror, shattering the glass, a piece of which fell and cut the complainant's right hand. The complainant had told the officers she is afraid for her safety and she would like a mullet.
Judge, this complainant, has been a complainant in a previous case, another AFM, in 2021, in which the defendant was put on.
What happened with the defer? Did he complete it successfully?
It looks like it was terminated, Judge.
You spoken to her?
I have spoken to her. She reached out to us yesterday because the defendant had contacted her as soon as he got out. He was released from jail, and she contacted our office very frantic. And that's why we asked him, Victoria asked him to come here today because the complainant really wants them all signed.
I'm putting a monitor on your ankle, Mr. Santana. I don't want you going anywhere near her, and I'm going to restrict your movement as well. If I find that you go anywhere near this person within 1,000 feet of where she lives or where she works, I'm going to put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond sky high. Do you understand?
Sure.
You're not to have any contact with this person, not to be in possession of weapons, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, and I'm going to test you to make sure that you're not using. Do you understand? I'm entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Ms. Salcedo as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot stalk, threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon. This usually goes within it, has a 200 feet residential and employment restriction. I'm making it 1,000. Do you understand?
Can I ask a question? What about my kids? Like,
You're going to have to use someone else. You will have to use an intermediary to get access to your kids. You cannot have any contact with this person.
no, with her, but picking them up from the house.
Someone else. You have a child with this person?
I have all my kids, 4.
You have 4 kids with this person.
Mhm.
You're going to have to use someone else. So let's do this. Do you have you have her phone number now? Can you reach out to her now and see if there is someone that she trusts, an intermediary, to help facilitate, exchanges with the kids? That way we know he has this one person that she feels comfortable with to be able to exchange kids.
Yeah, I know that, she did mention someone to me yesterday. She is a teacher at a school, so I have no guarantee that she'll pick up the phone right this
Okay.
instant, but I will.
It's okay. I mean, right, let's try it.
Yeah.
If you can, great. If not, we'll have to find some other workable solution, I want you to have access to your kids. You should have access to your kids, but I just don't want you to have any contact with this person. That's it. And I don't want you to use, I've got kids. I use that as an excuse to try to make any kind of contact with this person whatsoever.
So what if she contacts me?
You hang up the phone. I'm going to tell her now not to have contact with you. So I'm going to have advise the DAs to call her and tell her not to have contact with you. If she calls you, don't pick up. If she calls you from an unknown number and you answer the phone and it's her, hang up. If she texts you, don't reply. If she emails you, don't reply. If she comes to your house, don't open the door. I seriously doubt that these things are going to happen because, as it sounds, she's pretty scared of you. So
We've been together 19 years.
Judge, she advised me that they broke up 2 years ago. He's a truck driver and doesn't really come by the house often anyway. She just hasn't moved out of the house, but she was in the process of moving out. And he discovered that, and that's what he got angry about. which is what the CW told me. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a call and let her know what you said. Judge, just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, look, there's no rush. Take your time. You know, the other thing is this, is that, in the MOA, if she doesn't want him to know the address, we can just put any address and we don't list it in the MOA so that he doesn't know where the address is. And then we can find a mutually, I guess, a mutually agreed to location where you guys can exchange the kids. She'll have someone else to take the kids to that location. That way you can get them, for an agreed upon time for however long it may be, There's always a way to be able to do this without you having to go to jail. I mean, if you go to jail, it's because you've done something to violate these conditions. I don't get off on putting people in jail. I just want my public safe. That's all I want.
I have one more question, sir.
Shoot.
She said, I'm a truck driver.
It works everywhere all over the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, I want assurance that you're not going to go over there. You're not going to try to do anything to this person. We have enough death and destruction in Harris County. I'm trying to prevent any more from happening. Okay. And I will even pay for it for you so that there's no excuse. That's about a $400 bill that I'm going to eat every month so that you don't have to, pay for it. So I want you to understand that money is never an excuse. It's just, as long as you can abide by these conditions, you'll be fine with us. That's it. Have you signed the order for protection? We'll have you sign a receipt and then we'll just have you take you to the jury box.